But how will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news this morning. First up, Sudarshan joins in to get us all the market cues that we need to watch out for. Sudarshan, good morning. It's a positive handover from Wall Street, but what are you picking up this morning?
Good morning, Horma. So before I talk about the market, let me talk a little bit about the elections that are ongoing. So we are nearing the close of this 2-month-long Lok Sabha elections 2024, and with yesterday's fifth phase, voting on 80% of total 543 seats has been completed, and voter turnout so far has largely been the same as that we saw in 2019. Cumulatively, total turnout in 2024 as of now stands at 66% against 67% that we saw in 2019. Now let's shift to market. Last few sessions have been good. Nifty is now back at 22,500 and gains have been broad-based. But what has been catching attention is the mid-cap outperformance. Last week, mid-cap index surged more than 4% to record its biggest weekly gain in last 8 months, that is since September 2023. And on Friday, and this can easily be corroborated by the sudden buying that we have seen in by FIs. On Friday, after selling for 11 sessions and shares worth rupees 33,000 crore, FIs turned buyers on Friday, but again on Saturday, both FIs and DIs were net sellers, but there is nothing much to read from that because volumes were very thin. On stock-specific moves, the focus has been on earnings. Even on Saturday, despite thin volumes, we saw major moves in some names like Balkrishna Industries, Zydus Life, Z Entertainment, Astral and HL. Now coming to global cues, there is not much from the equity front. Last 2 days on the Wall Street has been range-bound. On Monday, we saw Dow and S&P close with minor changes, while Nasdaq has hit record high. But the major moves we are seeing in commodities. Gold is back at $2,400. Copper has crossed March levels to hit record high. Crude, though, has remained steady, and Brent is below $84 per barrel. Lastly, in stocks to watch, keep an eye on stocks that will be in focus ahead of earnings. Those are BHL and PI Industry and companies that have reported earnings on Monday, and some of them are City Union Bank, Deepak Nitrite and BEL.
Sudarshan, thanks a lot for all of those updates. Now over to Vamakshi, who would list out the stocks that you need to watch out for. Vamakshi, good morning. What do you have on your list?
Well, good morning, Hormaz. A lot of numbers in focus. Let me first start off with the Jeevan Small Finance Bank. The merger has aided strong top-line growth for the company. Net interest income has seen an uptick of 26%. The net profit has grown by 6.5%, but the asset quality for the bank has deteriorated, with net NPA deteriorating from 0.17% to 0.28% sequentially. In fact, the company has also given its FY25 guidance, wherein they're saying that loan growth of almost 25% is what they expect. SAIL, on the other hand, has reported a downtick of almost 3% in its sales volume. Adjusted EBITDA came in at 1,954 crores, down 33%, but this is still better than what the street was expecting. The company also reported an exceptional loss of 502 crores in the fourth quarter on account of settlement of government taxes under the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, as well as the entry-level taxes, and the net profit declined by nearly 3%. India Cements reported a weak set of results, but there was some improvement seen in the utilization levels for the company. Revenue was down 14.7%. They also witnessed a volume degrowth of 13%, mainly on account of working capital constraints. But this time around, they've managed to report an EBITDA of 47 crores as compared to an EBITDA loss of 44 crores. The net loss of almost 30 crores is what the company has reported. This has narrowed down as compared to the loss seen in the same quarter last year. Patel Engineering reported good operational performance this time around. We saw the margins improve from 14 to 17.7%, and in fact the company also said that they're quite optimistic about sustaining the upward trajectory that they've witnessed in FY25 as well. So overall, a good set of numbers for Patel Engineering as well.
Vamakshi, thanks a lot for all the stocks that you need to watch out for. And lastly, Nigel is joining in with cues from the F&O space. Nigel, good morning. You're finally back above 22,500. What's the setup looking like?
Well, that's right. You know, the last 1 week or so, Hormuz has been quite good. Just when there were calls for around 21,700, 21,500, well, the markets have surprised everyone, and that's the nature of the beast, right? 22,500 is where we're holding at. How are the FIs positioned? Well, they're still short on the index. 72% of their positions are on the short side. And in absolute terms, it's around 2.5 lakh contracts, which I keep telling our viewers that you need to adjust it because the lot size has changed. So effectively, it's 1.25 lakh contracts if you're plotting it on a longer time frame. So net short market, that's something you like, a glimmer of good news. And in fact, we could see those shorts scampering for cover. Two strikes I'm looking at, 22,400 as put as well as 22,500 call. On both those two, there's a fair bit of open interest build up out there, 40 lakh a piece. On the 22,400 put, well, there is signs of writing being seen. The premium has come down to around 75 rupees. And at the 22,500 call, well, the premium is around 130 rupees, which brings us to the levels. Just going by the options data, I'll give you a range, 22,325 on the downside, 22,650 on the upside. That's as per the options data. Near-term range is what you're looking at. On the downside, the 20 DMA becomes important, and then the 100 DMA, you don't want to see the 100 DMA getting breached, which is at around 22,000 odd. The Nifty Bank as well, the levels come up for you on the screen. The 48,250, that's the 20 DMA, and that's where we ended at. Reference point on the downside is 47,700, and if that breaks, then you're looking further deep at around the 100 DMA. On both the Nifty and Nifty Bank, you don't see that break. In fact, today you'll be keeping an eye on the Nifty Financial Services Index because it plays out the weekly expiry. Back to you.
Weekly expiry for the Financial Services Index. Thanks a lot, Nigel, for the FNO updates there. Time